Hey guys, Micah from Blackbearcustomkydex. I got a video for you today on an auto deploy sheath that I made for this Spyderco Vallotton. I think is how you pronounce it, or Vallotton. I think it's Vallotton. I don't know. Somebody correct me down below. These are things I just don't know much about. So this knife is pretty unique. I hadn't seen one quite like it, and it was actually really easy to get an auto deploy on. But it's got, when I look at it, it almost reminds me of like a goose or something. It's got that like eyeball and beak shape to it. Extremely sharp knife, just very unique. I don't see a lot of them out there like this. So if you guys know much about this, definitely comment down below. If you have one, I'd love your thoughts on it. It seems like it would be a really competent user. I'm not a huge fan of the shape of it, but I can get over those kinds of things pretty easy if the knife performs really well. So I suspect this one might fall into that category. It's in CPM S30V from the Taichung factory, and those guys have been putting out some pretty good stuff. So in any event, this one is going to, going to Glenn out in California. And Glenn had sent me this one as well as the large version. And so the large one I think was supposed to be like a scout carry but still auto deploy or something along those lines. And this one was supposed to be just the regular setup. Black carbon fiber for both the regular, for the sheath and the lock. And partway through the project, you know, I hadn't started the large one yet, so no skin off my nose, but he asked me to stop with that one, just proceed with the smaller one, because he realized that the large one would not be within state regulation to be using the way he wanted to. So we stopped production on that. I got to send him a little refund for it, and this is what we got to go off of. So I'm going to try to fix the lighting here. I don't know why it's being so bad lately. But, all right. I know this isn't the greatest. It's definitely in my eyes. Hopefully you guys can see pretty good. But in any event, this is just my standard setup. I set them up so that you can carry it vertical on the deck lock. You can carry it horizontal. But I personally find that those positions are really inconvenient, difficult to draw. So what I typically do is I cock it backward just slightly so that as it rides here, you can deploy it with a very simple natural motion kind of going backward. It also keeps the range of motion pretty contained so that you're not likely to have to go back really far and maybe hit somebody unintentionally or whatever, but it still does the trick to get your fully excuse me, to get your blade fully deployed and able to use if you ever need to in that kind of emergency situation. As always, I would recommend that you practice with this thing. It does work very, very easily, very well. Sometimes, depending on the geometry of the blade, I always tell people, you know, I might have to tell you that there's like a trick with it that you have to rotate a little extra. This one, honestly, just kind of works, which is always really nice. But yeah, as always, you still got to practice with it. Just make sure that you're comfortable and competent with it in the event that you would ever need to use it in some kind of dire emergency. And as always, I would recommend that if you can carry a firearm rather, that you would do that as your primary, or a fixed blade as your primary or secondary to the firearm above a folder. But nevertheless, these things are a lot of fun. So even if you never use it as an actual accessory to a weapon, it is an extremely fun sheath to play with, and it always turns some heads when you open your blade. So yeah, I don't carry mine that much anymore, but when I was carrying it every day, like, people would literally ask me just to deploy the blade because it was fun to watch. So yeah, there we go. This guy is a locking outside the waistband sheath. Typically I only make outside the waistband sheaths with the lock. Part of the reason is because when I was originally carrying my first auto deploy design on me, it was a cold steel Recon drop point, Recon 1 with the drop point, and I originally had like a dangler set up for it, which actually was great. It worked really nicely. But then I switched to something more fixed on the belt, which obviously is more concealable, compact, probably even a little more comfortable. But I discovered that I was, you know, hitting it on my seatbelt buckle receiver every time I got in the car. It would pop the knife out of the sheath. So I knew I had to come up with something. I basically came up with the idea. I thought I was the originator of the idea, but it turned out that I was just making kind of a crappy copy of something somebody else had already done. So luckily, I actually got to have a couple conversations with the man himself, Kevin Robinson from Thai Tactical, who invented this kind of snap over lock design, and he explained it to me a little bit better, so I understood how it was supposed to work, and I've been doing it. He gave me permission to use his concept in my work, so I've been very fortunate and taking advantage of that generous gift he gave me. So this is not my concept. This is Kevin Robinson's from Thai Tactical. So if you guys haven't checked out Thai Tactical, please go do that. Really nice guy, really cool sheaths. But how it works essentially is that these two fins coming off the main sheath are just held together by this little hook over. So it prevents the Kydex from being able to spread apart, and therefore your knife is all but locked in place. With enough force, you can definitely overcome a Kydex lock. It's still flexible plastic, but for the most part, this is in there to the point where it's very, very difficult to pull out. So it's going to prevent, an incidental contact from knocking it loose. It's going to prevent somebody from just grabbing it off of you. And actually, one of the side benefits of the Vallotton, I'll keep pronouncing it that way, is that the handles are pretty smooth. I don't know what the material is. I would guess that these are probably G10 if I had to guess, but or maybe it's actual carbon fiber. I'm not sure. Glenn, can you comment down below? Let me know what's up with these. I don't know if this is like just the version of this knife or if it's a special version or what, but yeah, they're pretty slick. So as it is, I don't think anybody's going to just grab it and be able to yank it off you. My fingers would slip off of it, I think, before I could actually break the lock. And I've got pretty freakish grip strength, so I'm confident in this thing. I think it looks cool. I like the look of the black carbon fiber against whatever this is, possibly real carbon fiber or a kind of black carbon fiber textured G10, something along those lines. But in any event, that's that. So it holds these two layers together. It prevents them from spreading, so the knife is pretty much pinched in place. And when you need it, all you have to do is just give a gentle push until you hear the click, and all of a sudden, it's ready to go. So it's very quick. You can just click, deploy. To lock it back up, it's as simple as pushing on this layer here. And if you push far enough, it'll go. I like to assist with a couple fingers on the face of the sheath and my thumb behind, and you're really trying to bend it this way. You're just trying to flex it over. It's very, very easy to do. So unlock, lock, super simple. So let me guys what you know about this sheath. Let me know what you guys think about this sheath. Let me know what you think about the Spyderco Vallotton. I think this is the mini, I believe. And Glenn, straighten me out below if I'm wrong about that. But anyway, I hope you like this sheath, Glenn. I'm going to be sending this out today. So enjoy this. And for the rest of you, I appreciate you tuning in. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Stick around for the next one. God bless.